I didn't even know I had shot him. I don't think he even knew he'd been shot. Like, him saying he wants to be, like, a pastor or whatever, it's a sham. I, like, struggle with, like, washing my hands and, like, there's a mountain of dishes in the kitchen right now. I'm at fault, not him, so if I don't mean to make him sound bad, he's not. But we've been...
On October 31st, 2021, in Orange Park, Florida, a domestic argument turned deadly. Melissa Gholson, 39, and her husband David, 36, lived on Plymouth Court in Clay County, a quiet suburban neighborhood. Court records show they argued that day, reportedly over David urging Melissa to seek help, possibly for personal or mental health issues. The couple, married for years, appeared normal to neighbors, with no prior violent incidents reported. But tension escalated. During the dispute, Melissa retrieved a handgun from a safe, later storing it in a drawer. When the argument flared up again, she grabbed the gun, pointed it at David, and pulled the trigger. The gun clicked. No bullet was chambered. David ran to the garage, but Melissa followed, shooting him multiple times in the stomach. David died from his injuries. Neighbors later told News4Jax they were shocked, one noting the couple's home seemed peaceful, making the tragedy even more jarring. After the shooting, Melissa's actions were chilling. She left David's body in the garage overnight, watched TV, and slept on the couch. On November 1st, she ran errands before visiting her sister's house, where she confessed to the killing. Her sister, horrified, urged her to turn herself in. Together, they went to the Clay County Sheriff's Office, where Melissa gave a recorded confession to detectives. She admitted she shot David to stop their arguments, explicitly stating she wasn't in fear for her life. Deputies conducted a well-being check at the Plymouth Court home and found David's body in the garage, confirming the tragic scene. Melissa was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, held without bond. Her confession left no room for doubt. She acted out of frustration, not self-defense. The community was stunned. Neighbors told reporters they saw no signs of trouble, though one recalled a patrol car at the home weeks earlier, with no clear details. In May 2023, Melissa pleaded guilty before Judge Stephen Whittington in Clay County. Per the plea deal, she was sentenced to 40 years in Florida State Prison. David, a father of 2 from a previous marriage, left behind a grieving family. His sister-in-law, Haley Rothweiler, developed severe PTSD, disrupting her life. You can see this clip of her at the station that she is clearly overwhelmed about the situation that has unfolded, even though she did everything she could to get Melissa to confess to police as soon as possible. In a 2024 interview, Haley shared how she became a therapist to help others, inspired by her struggle.
Themselves in your shoes and said you should have done something different. Okay? Let's talk about Melissa and David, though, just for a second.
Okay.
And while Haley is struggling in this interrogation room, on the other side of the police station, there isn't the same to be said about Melissa. Let's dive into her interrogation now so you can experience firsthand what it was like to be a detective.
Okay. You don't seem like a bad person. We don't know your name back here, and you have like no criminal history, so like you come from a good family.
They're all cops.
Are you really?
Here?
Really?
GSO.
GSO.
They're retired GSO.
Were you and David married? Did you guys have kids together?
No. He just his from his former marriage.
Okay, how old are they?
6 and 8. Nine months.
Oh, wow.
2?
It's hard being a step-parent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just walk us through.
Can I call my dad?
We will let you at some point.
At some point?
Mm-hmm.
But I can't call him first to get his advice on whether I should
You can request to speak to an attorney. See, and here's the reason behind it: is a family member or a friend or something like that may distort what you're about to tell us, and we don't. That's why I said, rather than us talk to the deputies that you talk to, we'd rather get the story straight from you. I don't want anybody to distort whatever's you're fixing to tell us, So, I understand you want your dad. I understand you want to see your sister.
How long will I go to jail?
I have that's not on he and I. I have no idea.
Well, it's your job to find out what happened and then report it to
the state attorney.
It's our reports that they get as far as our interactions and how you're being very remorseful. Just because things happen doesn't mean you're a bad person.
What do you want to know?
We just want you to walk us through the story of what took place.
What happened?
I mean, we don't know the when, the why, the things like that.
Y'all found him?
Well, we haven't gone to the house. There is other officers at the house.
You're taking him away already?
No.
Not
He's
yet.
still being there.
We're going to get them all processed, okay? And then we're going to take care of them.
This happened yesterday, I'm assuming?
Yes.
In the morning or the afternoon?
Lunchtime.
Lunchtime?
We had just gotten back from public subs. He had picked us up some public subs. And we didn't even, they're still in the fridge. We didn't even eat them.
And then from my understanding, I guess an argument started.
An argument has started that morning. I was woken up to an argument. I told one of the guy I was talking to earlier that I have OCD and I struggle with washing my hands and there's a amount of dishes in the kitchen right now. I struggle with that and laundry and stuff and
So the argument was kind of based on chores, the house and things like that?
He did the cooking, I did the cleaning.
Right.
I did dishes because I insisted on doing the dishes, even though I struggle with it. I like them done right or a certain way, or because I struggle with that stuff.
I understand. We all have a little bit of it to an extent, maybe not the extent that you're saying, but we all have a little of it, at some point.
He woke me up. I've been sleeping on the couch, and he's been sleeping in the bed. And I've been sleeping on the couch for a while.
How long's a while?
A couple months.
A couple months.
How long you guys been together total?
We've met him in 2015. August of 2015. We got married in September 2018. Yeah, but yeah, we've been fighting lately. I've been sleeping on the couch.
Any fighting over anything particular, or just typical married couples?
I can't even tell you at this point anymore. I don't even.
Is he violent?
Mainly my OCD. We fight about that because I struggle with that a lot. Is he violent? No.
Are you violent?
No. Yes, I guess.
What?
On a regular basis.
Excluding from what happened yesterday, are you a violent person?
Normally, no. But we've been fighting. The kids will be over. He's got 40% custody, and the kids will be over on their days, and it's everything gets swept to the side when the kids are there, and then the second the kids are gone, it just starts in every time. And he's been I'm at fault, not him, so if I don't mean to make him sound bad, he's not, but we've been
And understand, it's not a matter of who sounds bad or who's at fault. We're just trying to get to the actual story of what took place.
He's had like a short patience for what I struggle with lately, and Saturday he woke me up angry, probably because I wasn't in bed with him again. It's been hurting him that I don't sleep in bed with him, and he just woke me up angry and started like stomping around the house and kind of like trying to push my buttons with the OCD, and he threatened to call. We've been having some fights lately where he like threatens to call the police, and he threatens to call my dad, and stuff like that. And
Or has it got to a point where if he's making a threat to call the police, that you've done something that the police would be involved, or is it just yelling?
it's yelling. I don't know if a person actually came out to our house. He said somebody did about a week or so ago.
I think you were asleep.
Huh?
I think you were asleep. Yeah, they had somebody come out.
Yeah, because he wouldn't leave me alone, and I started screaming for him to stop, and just like he threatened to call somebody, and while he was outside, like making a phone call, I finally like was able to just like calm down because he wasn't in there pestering me, and I did go to sleep, and somebody really did come out that day.
Yes, ma'am. Like a deputy came out there and just put that you were asleep in bed and there was no allegation of a crime or anything like that.
But like, he's been doing that lately, and
So it's been escalating.
yeah, and Saturday that was going on, and I locked him out of the house.
After Publix, before Publix?
Before Publix in the morning, he went out for something. Take the trash out or something. And I locked the door, and locked the back door, and apparently he had grabbed, I didn't even know we had a key that unlocked the back door, but we did. Because I know Mike, he set the keys to unlock the back door for some reason. But he ended up coming in the back. And, I don't remember how it ended, but he would call a truce. Like, I got him to just stop, and we called a truce. And I don't know if I went back to, like, sleep, because after we fight, like, I'm just exhausted, and I just want to go to sleep and wake up, like, not, like, on edge. And,
You take any medication or anything?
I was taking medication. I stopped it several months back.
What was that for?
OCD.
OCD.
He, he asked if I wanted to finish watching our show. We were watching a Netflix show together, and it was like, we really had like a truce, like we weren't fighting anymore. And he like went and put on his little camo robe and his Gholson hippie hat. And he sat on the couch, and I saw the other couch. We watched a show we've been watching. And then shortly after that, he was hungry and wanted to get something, and I went with him, and we rode up to Publix together, and he parked, and he went inside to get the subs. I asked him to leave his phone in the car. I wanted to call my dad and ask my dad something that he'd been saying stuff. He's been telling me my dad's saying stuff, and then I talked with my dad, and my dad said he didn't say that stuff. And then when he got back in the car, he wanted to know why, because he said, I'll leave my phone with you if you tell me what it was for. He didn't want me to call his mom. He didn't want me to call his ex. I told him it wasn't, and we had drawn a truce, and I didn't want his phone for that.
Did you not have your phone with you? Just his phone?
My phone wasn't working. I tried to get a new phone, but I had AT&T and Apple phone, and then I bought some stupid blue phone from Best Buy that doesn't even work. Apple, basically, I guess they're doing away with 4G or something. I don't know. So I haven't been able to use. I haven't been communicating with anybody for a while now.
What stuff was he supposedly telling? Was it stuff that he said he had told your dad?
I told my dad when the cop had come out that one time. He had told me that he had called my dad, and that my dad had told him to Baker Act me, and I did call my dad since then in front of him and asked my dad questions until that came out. But that was kind of like the last thing, it seemed like. But I was mad at my dad because my dad basically had said that, and David was saying that was my dad's go-to was to have me Baker acted, and when the cop came out, they said that that's not something we really push for. I don't even know what the cop really said, but he was saying that that's not something that you guys push for out here. You just want to get help to people, let people know options and stuff like that, and that's what he said. And then when I talked to my dad while he was in Publix on Saturday, my dad was saying that the cop is the one who suggested Baker acting me, and David mentioned it to my dad, and my dad said as a last resort if that's what it comes down to. And so it was complete opposite of what David had been telling me my dad's been saying. And when he got in the car, I was just really angry because I felt like he's been trying to turn me against my family for a while. I came from a good family, and I was so close with my family when I first met him, and I don't really even interact with a lot of my family members anymore. And I'm starting to question who he even was as a person. And you trust your dad, and I turned my back on my dad, and my dad's saying that that's not what he said, or how he said it even. And so we got in the car from Publix. I told him he was a liar. I told him that I had just called my dad and talked to him, and I called him a liar, and he took huge offense to that and got very upset that I called him a liar. And I think I even said something about he's
Said something what?
he's been in seminary.
Mm-hmm.
And he just started interning at our church this past month. I told him his calling, the things that he's been saying and doing lately, that he just told him that it was a sham. His call, him saying he wants to be a pastor or whatever, it's a sham. And he got really upset about that also. And we started fighting on the way home. And then when we got home, it was World War III again. And he went in and went to the kitchen, and we have a mountain of dishes in there that of course bother me if anybody messes with them except me.
Mm-hmm.
And so he went in there and started messing with all the things that he knows that bother me. And
What time did you guys get home?
I don't know, it was around noon, which I don't know what time exactly it was. But, that's when I pulled out a gun from the drawer and shot him.
And whose gun is it?
Mine.
It's yours? Did he know that you had that?
Yes, we have a big safe in the office. He has hunting rifles. He hunts deer and hog, and he's got a couple, and I had two.
And it was a pistol, correct? Like a little Ruger?
I don't know. It's a 380.
A 380. One of those like pocket-sized little small ones. And you said you kept it in your drawer?
It was in the drawer, yeah.
In the bedroom?
And in a drawer in the living room. There's a drawer right there between. There's like a kitchen and the living room, and there's a little table with a drawer that it was in.
Okay, you keep it in there?
No.
Is that where it normally stays?
No. I had pulled it out that morning from our safe.
Okay.
It was even leaving me alone.
When things started to escalate, you got it out of the safe just in case?
I had it on my person that morning. And when we finally called the truce, and I felt safe to put it away, I just put it in that drawer right there, and so it was right there.
Was it already chambered?
Yeah. I think so.
Was it chambered in the safe, or did you pull it out and chamber it and then put it like in your pocket?
I just pulled it out of the safe.
You see out on your person, you have like a holster or anything, or
I had it in my pocket.
pocket? Did he know that you had that morning? So once the truce got called, you put the gun in the back in that drawer?
That little drawer right there between the kitchen.
Okay. Is there like a table there, or a lamp on it or anything?
It's like a little black table. It's a little narrow, square table. Not yay high.
Okay.
Not very wide or big.
Okay. Where was he when you went to the drawer?
I was beside the drawer. I was standing in the openings of the kitchen. He was over at the sink, messing with dishes.
Trying to get a rile out of you?
Did you shoot him from that location?
I shot him from multiple locations.
But I mean, first shot, was you standing by the drawer when you shot him, or did you walk up to him?
He charged at me, and I started pulling the trigger. We ended up running into the garage. He ran. Once I started shooting, he ran into the garage, and I chased him into the garage.
Do you know if you shot him in the living room before the garage? You don't know, or?
Mm-mm.
You said he charged at you. Did he see you with the gun?
I think he charged at me. Yeah, he saw me pull it out.
When you ran into the garage, what happened in the garage?
He was trying to far away to get away, and I was just shooting. I didn't even know I had shot him. I don't think he even knew he'd been shot. He started trying to wrestle the gun away from me through the lawnmower. My back was against the lawnmower, and he was trying to wrestle the gun away, and there wasn't anything left in there.
The gun was empty at that point?
I felt it was empty. Locked open or whatnot. And then he gurgled. I heard he gurgle. And he smoked. And he smoked between the lawnmower and the garage door. And,
Where do you think you shot him?
I know where I shot him. I looked at it.
Where was that?
2 times?
I don't know.
What you've seen was it 2 times?
What happened with the gun?
I didn't put it down. It's in the garage. There's the green tote in there. I got up and sat on it. Just stunned. I never touched it. I looked at her. I didn't touch it after that.
Did you call anybody? Text or anything?
Yeah.
Did you think about calling rescue team? But you didn't because of what?
Good. He's already dead.
At the point you thought about calling rescue, you just didn't.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I felt no calm. I didn't know what to do. I think he would make it.
You didn't think he would make it easy?
I didn't think he would make it. He was already so pale. He was so pale.
How long was he when he went to the floor? How long until he went still?
I laid him out because he just let it out for him to be uncomfortable.
Did he fall like on his stomach, on his side?
He slumped.
Was there a lawnmower in the garage door? Did you pull him out or anything?
Yeah, because I didn't know what happened. I didn't know. I actually was trying to see where I laid him out, and I checked, and I saw the one there, and I saw the one there, and I didn't know what to do. It's hard to make decision that fast.
Well, we wouldn't expect you to know per se what to do. I mean, you're going to be in shock as well. But there's a point between that's 12 o'clock Saturday to what happened to today. There's a period in between. And what did you do? Where did you go?
I laid down on the couch and I slept. I watched some TV and I cuddled my dog, and I slept.
Did you ever go back out in the garage and check on him?
He was said before I left the garage.
The first time?
Did he quit moving pretty quickly once he slumped? Did you go anywhere last night? Or this morning? To your sister's this morning, correct? Did you go anywhere else before her house?
I told my dad I would bring back this drill mixer, cement mixer that he had wanted or needed back to use to do his bathroom. He's remodeling his bathroom.
You took that to your dad's house first? How long were you there for?
He wasn't there. I just left it by the front door. I went next door. My grandmother lives next door. And it was like church time. Like 11:30 or something. I went next door to see my grandmother. I just wanted to... I haven't seen her in a while. I wanted to see her and hug her and tell her I loved her.
Did you talk to her? Was she there?
She was. I just hugged her. She tried to get me to come in, but I didn't talk to her. I didn't tell her, like, I was upset with something wrong, because I was crying. But I told her I couldn't stay. I just wanted to see her and hug her and tell her I love her.
She lives right next door to your dad? Have you talked to your dad since all this, since it happened?
Yeah.
So as it stands, the only person that knows, other than, of course, the law.
Unless she's called already.
But that's the only person you told me.
I went over. It was too much for my dad, and then I wanted to see my niece and nephew.
All right.
They're just wanted to see them. I've really been on the best of terms lately. Like family drama. And I just wanted. I wasn't even there to like see it occur so much as to see and have my niece and nephew.
Have you and your husband ever been physically violent with each other? Or has it all been verbal?
It's been verbal. It's been feeling as though it's been escalating though.
Right. But it's, at this point, it maintained verbal. Maybe some words that shouldn't be said, passed back and forth, things like that.
I've thrown things towards him to get him to try to leave me alone before. But it makes me just hit the wall.
And minus the OCD, have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? No?
Just boosting.
When you guys came home after Publix, was he threatening you or anything? Or making threats to you? Or was he just picking at you with the dishes and things like that?
Picking, pushing the buttons, trying to get it right.
So to help us understand, we're trying to understand. Where does it go from a verbal argument to getting a gun out, thinking the only resolution to this is death?
I don't know.
Did you not feel like you had a way out? You couldn't call somebody and get out of there?
Just got built up.
I just wanted to stop. I just wanted to be able to breathe and think. He just pushes my buttons this way. I just want him to stop. I just want to think. I just want to have calm. And that happens every time. I just want to, he wants me to go do things and work on the house or do the dishes or whatever it is I'm supposed to be doing. And I just want to sleep afterwards. I can't because I'm so on edge afterwards. I just go lay down and then the next day it starts all over again because all I did was sleep the day before. And
So you don't work?
No.
Does he work?
Yeah.
What does he do?
Said you had family in law enforcement?
Yeah.
You said they were retired?
My dad and uncles are all retired. My generation is my cousin. Her husband is current GSO. My brother's GSO.
What'd your dad do? Was he GSO?
GSO. My grandfather he's passed away, but my grandfather who lived beside us, where my grandmother lives, he was GSO. Beside that is my Uncle Ricky. He's retired GSO. I have an uncle, Johnny. He's retired GSO.
So you've been around law enforcement and guns and things like that pretty much your whole life, right? And your husband is also, sounds like, an avid hunter. He's been around guns and everything.
He was he was a cop out in Arizona.
Okay. So you guys used to live out there, or just him?
Him and his ex-wife lived out there, and they moved here before they split, had the kids and split.
Other than Saturday, how many times do you think you've put a gun on yourself because of arguing and wanting to stop? Never resulted to, of course, what happened Saturday, but how many times do you think you've done it?
That was the first time I've ever done that.
Has he ever done that?
I wouldn't know, but I don't think so.
Has he ever pulled one on you?
No.
So when you get the gun out of the drawer, and you said he charges you, do you say anything? Are you yelling at him? Is that what catches his attention?
No, he had my attention because he was looking for the rise.
So he's looking to get a rise out of you.
He wasn't even trying to do the dishes. He just started like picking cups up and moving them around. He just thought it was funny.
Just to piss you off.
But were you yelling at him because of it?
I was asking him to stop. Yeah, I was yelling for him to stop.
Stop. So at some point he's got to notice that you're getting a gun out, right? And then he starts. What's the distance you think between the kitchen and where you said you got the gun from?
Bear in mind, we haven't been to the house yet.
Yeah.
Open the door. Maybe that wall
Maybe that wall.
where he was.
Was he by the sink?
So not too far then. So when you started pulling the trigger, was it just a repetitious thing? Or did you just a couple times and stop? Or
I don't know.
you don't know? And did he run to the garage? And then you chased behind him?
Did he, when he saw you with the gun, did he say anything to you?
I don't think so.
He just ran at you?
I think. I don't know if he was running at me or
Running to get away?
felt like he was running at me and then stopped and ran to the garage instead.
So before he made it to you, he ran to the garage.
Because I'd pulled the sleeve off already. There was a sleeve that was in.
Like on holster?
Like a little cloth holster.
So it was in the drawer? Did he see you pull the whole thing out? Or did he see it when you took the actual gun out of the holster?
I don't know. I don't know what he said.
The intent is what would cause him to think that you would actually pull the trigger? Because if I'm married, if my wife were to get in an argument, let's say, and she pulled a gun out, in my mind I would think she's not actually really going to do that. So why would he think that you would? To the point that he's got to run. Did you tell him you're fixing to shoot him?
No, I didn't say anything.
Does he just know you to that point that he believes that you would actually go through with it? Because that's a pretty bold thing. If I'm running to you to possibly get the gun away from you, and you take the gun out of the sleeve, and then I take a hard left or right, whatever it is, to get to the garage.
It clicked.
The gun clicked.
It clicked, yeah.
Before it went off?
You're going to have a safety?
It wasn't right.
Wasn't right, okay.
So it clicked and you had to rack it to put one in?
I pulled it a couple of times, yeah. And I also heard the click and ran.
Where was he standing when he was first struck? Was he still by the sink?
I racked it as I ran.
As you're following him to the garage and when you rack it?
Yeah.
Did you fire any shots inside the house or were they just in the garage?
Just garage.
And understand we haven't seen your gun. Does your gun have a hammer?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, the slide that has a hammer, a semi-automatic gun that also has a hammer on it as well.
I think it was a hammer.
You think it does have a hammer? So you pull the trigger a couple of times. He hears the click. He makes the hard turn to go to the garage. You're chasing behind him, and
I reacted as I ran.
you racked it as you ran. You get into the garage.
And I was just firing.
And he's obviously still running from you, right? Any idea what he's running to? Because the garage is closed, I'm assuming.
Oh, he was in the way.
He's trying to get away.
He's knocking stuff over.
Does she kind of look like that? Somewhere?
I guess.
Okay. So I was told to tell that it was one of these.
Okay. So he's knocking things over, trying to get away. Is the entrance to the garage closer where you guys were at than, say, the front door to the residence?
He couldn't get out. There was no way for him to get out. The garage was down.
So he couldn't get out. So he's basically trapped.
He was just running.
And when you get in the garage and you're shooting at him, before the wrestling over the guns takes place, what's the distance at that point do you think you actually shot him? Same distance?
I don't know.
I mean, let me explain it. Are you closing the gap on him, per se, as you're shooting? Like if he's ran to the corner, or he's ran to the door where the lawnmower is, are you closing the gap as you're shooting, getting closer and closer?
I don't know. He ran out there. He ran out there.
Was he by the garage door when he was struck?
I don't know when I struck him. I didn't think I had struck him because he was.
You're still wrestling.
He's still running and wrestling. Yeah, he ran and I was just shooting. And
do you remember the gun going off while you're wrestling?
it did. When he had me against the lawnmower, and he was trying to get the gun. I shot him going up close.
Not close.
He was just trying to get it so that he wouldn't be able to get it from me. He was saying, hey. And then he was still wrestling for it. And he was already cocked open. And it was empty.
When you two were wrestling with the gun, had he already been struck? You said it was empty.
He had to have been because he had the bullet holes. So yeah, I'd struck him.
Did he yell out like "you shot me" or anything like that?
He never even reacted like he'd been shot. I didn't think I actually hit him.
Was he yelling anything at you?
Words, no. I don't know.
Just trying to picture at this point you're probably like in a rage. Right? And in a rage to a point, maybe some things are blurry, but as we talk, they come back a little bit. But at the point you got the gun out, I mean, your intent was for him to die.
My intent was for him to stop.
What? You don't think he stopped when he ran to the garage?
Forget it. You just had enough.
You need some tissue. I'll get you some tissue. Right.
Is my sister still here?
She is. Do you have any questions for us?
Well, yeah. What happens next?
Well, obviously, at some point, we're going to discuss with the state attorney the things that you just divulged to us, and the decision will be made. You will be placed under arrest and charged. I don't know what the charge will be at this point. And, there's a whole booking process and things like that. We told you we'd allow you to talk to your sister, we'll do that.
I'm gonna be placed in your arresting charge today and taken to jail.
Yes, ma'am. We'll make sure you're fully aware of, what charges they are, and we'll answer any questions you may have and kind of let you know what's going to happen. We can work on talking to your family and things like that. What church do y'all go to?
Me and David Pinewood Presbyterian. And somebody could tell Chris, our
Pastor. I've already heard that. Yep. We'll see if we can take care of that. You want a tissue? Paper towel or anything?
everyone.
Paper towel or anything? Alright, we'll be right back. As far as your dad goes, I would assume has told him, and that's just an assumption, but I would assume so. So he probably already knows.
I saw her in the car. We were pulled up here. She was having a difficult conversation with somebody, and she don't know her husband or my dad.
Okay, so she was already having a difficult conversation with someone.
Yeah, so I'm assuming she told either her husband why she had to leave the house in a rush.
She lives in Jacksonville.
Off of Normandy.
Okay. So what made you guys what made you guys decide to drive all the way to Green Coast Springs? Did she say you have to turn yourself in, or did you say I want to turn myself in?
I went over to see her kids, just 'cause.
Right, I remember that.
And I was planning on telling her I was still. I was not planning on laying this on her,
Mm-hmm.
but I just
You had to tell somebody.
wrote down like I was in there and the kids were like so happy and their home was so warm and the kids like and Ellie was running around, that's my dog, and I just realized I'm not gonna get to experience that anymore. I just took that away, that life away from our families. And I just we used to always be close. We haven't been lately because of the difference of opinions on different family stuff.
Did she say, come on, we need to go to the sheriff's office?
Yeah, when I told her, we asked if we could go talk. We went out, sat inside of my car, and I told her, and she said we needed to go. And so we did. We went to the one down at Brainfield, landing first, couldn't get in as well. The doors are locked. That's where she took me. And then I suggested Orange Park Police Department, since that's where I live, Orange Park.
Mm-hmm.
So she Googled, and we went out to the place right there on.
Yeah, I understand they told you it wasn't in their jurisdiction or something.
Yeah.
Guys, that kind of sounds like you had a little difficulty trying to report it in
Yeah.
the beginning.
I told we told him, and we had a crime report, and
Did you tell them it was for murder?
no, walked up and I think it was the 911 spot,
I got you.
and he's behind glass, and my sister has a crime report, and he asked where the crime occurred. I told him my house. He asked the address. I told him the address, and he said that's not in our jurisdiction, and he said there's a phone over there on the wall, you're welcome to call and report it. And he gave us this slip for the 901 North Orange.
Mm-hmm. That's the one in Green Cove where you guys ended up.
So we ended up getting in the car and driving down there to that location.
And I didn't get the opportunity to speak
before she left, but I know another detective did, and I read her statement. I guess part of your statement to her was, "I'm a murderer." You know, I mean, is that's pretty.
Murdered my husband.
I understand that, and I mean, at this point, that you did. I'm still having difficulty understanding the decision to commit murder on your husband, and you know, and understand. I don't have the OCD that you have. You know, I said we all have some type of it, but not to the extent that you have. So, you know, it's just a little difficult trying to understand where the decision or the switch was flipped to say, you know, okay, this is it. And it was, and as you said, it was to get him to stop, to leave you alone so you could breathe. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you.
And I don't want you to make anything come out. I'm just speaking out loud. And it's just so. But the process is at this point, you know, if you do want to talk to somebody, you know, in your family or something like that, just knock on this door. I'm more than happy.